Now this is very bad. These are burial sites right here. Burial sites. Over 1,000 of white farmers, and those cars are lined up to pay love on a Sunday morning. Each one of those white things you see is a cross, and there's approximately 1,000 of them. They're all white farmers, the family of white farmers. And those cars aren't driving, they're stopped there to pay respects to their family member who was killed. And it's a terrible sight. I've never seen anything like it. Both sides of the road you have crosses. Those people were all killed.
Have they told you where that is, Mr. President? No, I'd like to know where that is, because this I've never seen.
Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today's video is one that really matters, not just to South Africans, but to people around the world. We're going to talk about the meeting that happened just yesterday between President Cyril Ramaphosa and Donald Trump. There's been a lot of talk, and a lot of lies, about so-called white genocide happening in South Africa. And some people are using this false story to push fear, racism, and division. But today, we're going to break it all down. This meeting lasted over an hour, but I'm only going to show you the parts that actually matter, the parts that show what the meeting was supposed to be about. And as you probably already know, Donald Trump didn't give direct answers to most of the important questions. He beat around the bush, but he did say what he wanted to say by degrading the news reporters who were in the room. In one moment, NBC News asked him a very important question. Why is he only focused on helping white Africans when so many other people around the world, black, brown, poor, and struggling, also need help? I've got the footage, and I'm going to walk you through exactly what was said and what was left out. So before we jump in, do me a favor. Hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get into the truth.
So we'll be discussing many things, and some of the things you've been reading about in the papers and the media. And I would say that, look, the president is a truly respected man in many, many circles, and in some circles he's considered a little controversial. But we're going to be discussing some of the things that are taking place in South Africa and see if we can help. And we want to help. And we've had a long relationship with South Africa. I have, because indirectly I have so many friends that live there. I have a lot of friends. I mean, these are famous guys, but I have a lot of friends that live there that are tremendous people. And we'll be discussing that. We'll have a nice conversation, and I really appreciate that you guys came along. It really helps us in our thought process. But it is a great honor to have you, and I appreciate you called. He called. I don't know where he got my number, but I picked up. He said, I want to come over and see you. And that was my honor, and thank you very much for being here.
You're most welcome.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much for welcoming us to this reformed White House. I've been here before, and it looks really fantastic. I must congratulate you.
Thank you.
But I also thank you for allowing our delegation. This is a very mixed delegation that you've got. We've got people from government, my ministers. I've got someone from the trade union movement who we really collaborate with, and from business as well, and our sporting legends. Very much for that. It really touched my heart after I spoke to you, and you delivered.
It's a great honor.
Thank you very much indeed. Yeah.
Any questions, please?
Mr. President, we welcome white Afrikaner refugees here. Can you explain to Americans why it's appropriate to welcome white Afrikaners here when other refugees like Afghans, Venezuelans, Haitians have all had their protected status revoked?
Well, this is a group, NBC, that is truly fake news. They ask a lot of questions in a very pointed way. They're not questions, they're statements. We've had tremendous complaints about Africa, about other countries too, from people. They say there's a lot of bad things going on in Africa, and that's what we're going to be discussing today. When you say we don't take others, all you have to do is take a look at the southern border. We let 21 million people come through our border, totally unchecked, totally unvetted. They came from all over the world. In many cases, they're criminals. They come from prisons. They come from mental institutions. They come from street gangs. They're drug dealers. So don't say that we didn't take them. We take them. We're trying to get them out as fast as we can. And we're doing record business on that. And we just won a big case where we're allowed to send back hundreds of criminals to Venezuela. Just won that today in the Supreme Court. I'm happy to hear. But we do have a lot of people are very concerned with regard to South Africa, and that's really the purpose of the meeting, and we'll see how that turns out. But we have many people that feel they're being persecuted, and they're coming to the United States. So we take from many locations if we feel there's persecution or genocide going on. And we had a lot of people. I must tell you, Mr. President, we have had a tremendous number of people, especially since they've seen this. Generally, they're white farmers, and they're fleeing South Africa, and it's a very sad thing to see. But I hope we can have an explanation of that, because I know you don't want that. It's a kind of a different meeting. Normally, we have meetings, we talk about trade, and we'll be talking about trade and other things.
Now here's the part we've all been waiting for, the big question. At some point, you've got to ask, what will it actually take to convince Donald Trump that there is no white genocide happening in South Africa? This lie has been pushed and pushed, mostly by far-right voices who don't care about the truth. They care about pushing fear and protecting white supremacy. And instead of listening to facts, Trump has been echoing these same dangerous ideas. So when that question finally came up, right there in the room, everyone wanted to see how he would respond. Would he admit the truth? Would he back down? Or would he dodge it again? Let's take a look at how he handled it.
Was that a question or a statement? This guy's, you never changed.
Mr. President, this
Go ahead,
time, what will
please.
it take for you to be convinced that there's no white genocide in South Africa?
Well, I can answer that for the President. It's for him. No, seriously.
I'd rather have him answer.
Yeah, I'd rather answer that. It will be.
Our president will respond to you.
Yeah, let me,
Thank you, Mr. President.
it will take President Trump listening to the voices of South Africans, some of whom are his good friends, like those who are here. When we have talks between us on the quiet table, it will take President Trump to listen to them. I'm not going to be repeating what I've been saying. I would say if there was Afrikaner farmer genocide, I can bet you these three gentlemen would not be here, including my Minister of Agriculture. He would not be with me. So it'll take him, President Trump, listening to their stories, to their perspective. That is the answer to your question.
But,
Thank you,
Mr.
Mr.
President, I must say
President
that
Trump.
we have, wait. We have thousands of stories talking about it.
Sure.
And we have documentaries, we have news stories, and that. Is Natalie here, somebody here to turn that? I could show you a couple of things, and it has to be responded to.
Yeah, sure,
We
we
have,
will.
let me see the articles, please, if you would, and turn the lights down. Turn the lights down. Now this is very bad. These are burial sites right here. Burial sites. Over 1,000 of white farmers, and those cars are lined up to pay love on a Sunday morning. Each one of those white things you see is a cross, and there's approximately 1,000 of them. They're all white farmers, the family of white farmers. And those cars aren't driving, they're stopped there to pay respects to their family member who was killed. And it's a terrible sight. I've never seen anything like it. Both sides of the road you have crosses. Those people were all killed.
Have they told you where that is, Mr. President? No, I'd like to know where that is, because this I've never seen. But okay.
I mean, it's in South Africa. That's where.
We need to find out.
Mr. President, the Pentagon announced that it would be accepting a Qatari jet to be used as Air Force One.
What are you talking about? You know, what are you
I want
talking
to
about?
respond.
You know,
The Pentagon
you to get out of here. What does this have to do with the Qatari jet? They're giving the United States Air Force a jet, okay? And it's a great thing. We're talking about a lot of other things. It's NBC trying to get off the subject of what you just saw. You are a real, you know, you're a terrible reporter. Number one, you don't have what it takes to be a reporter. You're not smart enough. But for you to go into a subject about a jet that was given to the United States Air Force, which is a very nice thing, they also gave $5.1 trillion worth of investment in addition to the jet. Go back, you ought to go back to your studio at NBC, because Brian Roberts and the people that run that place, they ought to be investigated. They are so terrible the way you run that network, and you're a disgrace. No more questions from you. Go ahead. Go ahead, talk about that. His name is Peter something. He's a terrible
If they're
reporter.
committing genocide,
Quiet.
That's my question now.
Let's go.
Thank you so much, President Trump, and a disaster from ENCA in South Africa. Thank you very much.
Thank you
for
very
hosting
much,
us.
Steve.
What would you like President Ramaphosa to do about the situation
I
that we've
don't
just
know.
seen on the screen?
I don't know. Look, these are articles over the last few days. Death of people. Death. Horrible death. Death. I don't know.
But you know that
To
there
pick
are
anyone,
people who are
white
dying.
South Africans are fleeing because of the violence and racist laws. And this is all, I mean, I'll give these to you.
No, I'd like
So
to-
when you say, what would I like to do? I don't know what to do. Look at this. White South African couple say that they were attacked violently. And,
President Trump, when will you go and see for yourself if it is indeed true?
well, I could do that. Look, here's burial sites all over the place. These are all white farmers that are being buried. And he asks about a jet that was given. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. You know, you are so bad. You're such a bad reporter.
May I finish, please, President Trump? Mr. President
This
Trump,
is one after another. This family was wiped out. I'm just looking.
Can we get a report from President Ramaphosa,
Your
please?
reaction to those videos, Mr. President?
President
Yes, I
Trump,
want
would
your
you-
reaction.
Well, I think the videos are so. No. When you look at the videos, I mean, how does it get worse? And these are people that are officials, and they're saying that kill the white farmer and take their land. That's what it
Please allow
was.
Ramaphosa
And I have
to
other
respond.
friends in South Africa. I have people that left. One in particular that says you can't go there. He said they want to take your land. They take your land and they kill you. It's okay, and they say it's okay to do. Now we're going to talk about it.
We're going to.
But this is a tremendous look. This is a story recent. These are all people that recently got killed.
Yeah.
And I don't know how it can get any worse. These are and you know, the men that you saw, the people that you saw in that movie, those are officials. Those are people that were in office. They had one march, they had a dance in your parliament, whatever you may call it, legislature.
Well, let
and
me
it was
clarify
terrible.
that.
Yeah,
Let me
please.
clarify that, because what you saw, the speeches that were being made, one, that is not government policy. We have a multi-party democracy in South Africa that allows people to express themselves, political parties to adhere to various policies, and in many cases, or in some cases, those policies do not go along with government policy. Our government policy is completely against what he was saying, even in the parliament. And they're a small minority party, which is allowed to exist in terms of our constitution.
But you do
Which-
allow them to take land.
No.
You do allow them to take land.
Nobody can
And then
take
when
land.
they take the land, they kill the white farmer. And when they kill the white farmer, nothing happens to them.
No, there is
Nothing happens to
There
them.
is criminality in our country. People who do get killed, unfortunately through criminal activity, are not only white people. Majority of them are black people. And we have now
The
been
farmers are
utilized.
black. The farmers are not black.
We
I don't
now-
say that's good or bad, but the farmers are not black. And the people that are being killed in large numbers, and you saw all those grave sites, and those are people that loved ones going, I guess on a Sunday morning, they told me, to pay respect to their loved ones that were killed. Their heads chopped off. They died violently. And, you know, I mean, we're here to talk about it, and I didn't
we
know
will
we'd get
talk about it.
involved here. But I will say this, that if the news wasn't fake, like NBC, which is fake news totally, one of the worst, ABC, NBC, CBS, horrible. But if they weren't fake news like this jerk that we have here, if we had real reporters, they'd be covering it. But the fake news in this country doesn't talk about that. They don't want to talk about it, but now they have to talk about it. But they won't. This won't even be a subject. They'll have him talking about why did a country give a free, think of this, why did a country give an airplane to the United States Air Force?
Now let's talk about this moment in the meeting when Donald Trump claimed that the killings of white farmers in South Africa were never reported by the media. But let's be real, the reason they weren't reported is simple, because they never actually happened the way he says they did. The video Trump referred to didn't show any real graves. Those were mock graves set up during a protest about farm violence. And even then, it wasn't just about white farmers. According to official South African police data, farm murders made up less than 0.2% of all murders in South Africa between October and December of last year. That's not genocide. That's a lie being used to push a political agenda. I want to take a moment to commend President Ramaphosa for showing leadership and coming to this meeting. He came to speak truth, to clear the air, and to stop this dangerous lie from being spread any further. Because the people Trump fast-tracked to America, they weren't being hunted down. They weren't running from genocide. They were part of a made-up story designed to stir fear and protect a false narrative. It's all a lie. And one day, maybe, Donald Trump will finally admit it. But whether he does or not, the facts are already out there, and we're going to keep speaking on them. So now you've seen it for yourself. The lies, the dodging, the misinformation, and the truth that President Ramaphosa brought to the table. There is no white genocide in South Africa. That narrative was built on fear, racism, and a complete disrespect for the reality of what's really happening on the ground. As Black people, we know what it means when our stories are ignored, and we also know what it looks like when power tries to rewrite the truth. That's why it's so important we speak up, correct the record, and control our own narrative. If this video gave you something to think about or helped you see the bigger picture, do me a favor, like the video, drop a comment below, and subscribe to the channel. Let's keep having these real conversations because they matter. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.